peja mami Jane. Eti se ye kafu gbantu. E hwe John Dramani Mahama se. E no bo kafu mi de ama oje no. Omo mfa ho se party ni accept. Party members ni piniso. E ke party strategical ho. E na o ye na po. Ene me mami na Jina. Na po ye Johnny Walker. Na po ye Red Label. What you say? Na po ye whiskey. Mami, udi wo mo compare. E ya patashi. Me mami te say palm wine, local palm wine tapper. Because udi wo mo jina so mo ye debater. E te say awiabone Benz. It will match. Na po ye seasoned politician or politics no. E bia me mami e ka literature. Literature so ye to swaba.
Don't talk as if say Gyamii people no here for party bia sebi obi ani twiwo ma unko na contribute na unko na wodu sika abo party no fa unko si asem free okọ fa unko si asem free okọ anya unko na abo party no ana unko de bia wo be bibia na ntini pa we amudi na chi wo amudi na chi mo Gyimii ana
Yeah.
I'm saying that we can vote people in and out, personalities, okay? But my dear, what we need to do in this country is to establish a situation where even if it was the devil who should come and sit on top of us in Ghana, by virtue of certain procedures, certain practices, the devil cannot get away with doing whatever he wants. He would necessarily have to do what the people expect of him.
All right, so these were the words of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. Just photos, we have a there. But we say just on your part. And then 1 hour with the Munufi for assign Abana. We're gonna do a very special program. Until send the BIA and Yababe Ghana Juma. If baby are him and you think say everything is okay, this is 1 hour with Munufi Midi and William Munufi Aman Kona. That is how we're gonna do the show. Then the topic about your baby say you reckon for rata or he. The former finance minister, and now the Gyimii for 8.5 years. NPP Beko we yan and another Sakeno, HR Mancas was Sakeno, which is Gino, Eddie Papa by. Now, special prosecutor Eddie Papa Koka wanted list of Papa didn't cry by say by May this year, or Baba Ghana before see the loss of the land. Until the babies are saying, Mr. Furata Waba, and as of my, and as I say, special prosecutor. Any updates at the Maya, we're also going to work on all those kind of things. That is something you're all going to see. ABM Sammy Gyamfi and Agra answer no enquiry here, and the chief of staff, Efre Sammy Gyamfi, and then the home come. Now NPPFo, and so Edon one are not atom. My many NPP party in Sene Bulgaria, describe it, send ya or Matia.
A Gyimii for party job.
What's the NPP again?
A Gyimii for party.
A Gyimii for party in the Anonia Dindodo.
Oh. Me Gina President Kufuor ni kwa sana bekala.
Na Gyimii for party na wo Bulgaria won so ya MPP ni no.
Oh na Sammy so Gyimii.
All right, the queer I done. Minya, me tell catch you won't hear me. See where you me anyway, this is 1 hour with Munufi. We didn't William Munufi Amankana. Until Bulgaria say NPP a Gyimii for party. That is something we're all gonna check today. I say NPP for and pass me a Gyimii for party and ask me a Nyanza for party. Sammy Gyamfi akoye mistake. Akomana na grada of all people sika. NDC for me makasa tia Sammy Gyamfi e bofu no. Say NPP for fin fa NDC for ni edi agoro mo amani e wo ma mo si hey omo ntia se yin Sammy Gyamfi edi na se madamfo. Monye serious na say den. Sammy Gyamfi na ye criticize no enya mo NPP for na mo ye se mo criticize no yen NDC for ena ye se criticize ya de. Na ye wi a yakoka asem no e wo fie. Na mo NPP for the problem one because you can't be criticize obi a na now dan kwaku for the anti-man criticize any a single person. NPP MPs actual letter oman actual letter keke omo do man no call na now do say Mr. President finance minister ye hia na saake no na do si obo adwuma pa o ya de ye rekwaku agima manu ekoton nsuo oso okofa COVID-19 edura ba okoy sa na nsuo na ekobugu do bottom at the break Ghana $1, $19 per bottle no. ye chi ne se koro no no bona na do kogina domase onye hwe so say ye po obi be criticize Sammy Gyamfi a the honest thing is enye NPPFo na some be criticize Sammy Gyamfi ya bere ya bre te say me and just photos and akuya da na say nipa aka e de NDC ba power no we are the people ye betimi akasa tie Sammy Gyamfi san say ye mprema NPP entimi say mba komia so bem. That is why we are criticizing our own tie ya agoro ne say yankasa ye de no ye twa na chimma and ka say NPPFo mo mra meka bi da bi NPPFo muni any moral right to come and say anything about Sammy Gyamfi. Yera Musa Dankwa say okoye research e de betu dwa. Now research oye say over 55% of Ghanaians and as a nipa are responding to the query they say Sammy Gyamfi should be pardoned. Why ye bone wa fom as oba jana na egu na so yin twa ntwe na be pepa. Inti Global Info Analytics Musa Dankwa say ono research okoye ye na kire say there be NPPFo mo ti wa waka say yin Sammy Gyamfi de no yin this for yin ka say yin Sammy Gyamfi de o there be Ghana for dodo na say there be Sammy Gyamfi a mistake na why esan say na agrada obi anim say na agrada a certain woman na agrada sebe oye nipa boni ni e na ba hye da ko set Sammy Gyamfi app enti say na agrada anko anti na mo say yin Sammy Gyamfi de dia da bi intimi yin Sammy Gyamfi di based on na agrada because na agrada anya obi a oti Ghana no Ghana ni bi anim say onye nipa papa oba also e komfo o ware komfo ba komfo be ma ene ne tena wo ma ekosua komfidi komfo ho ene be kom ye be ye sika gari ebu amanfo ono ankasa nanum se kwakuma no twiniti wo ha ko be twi na di meaning say she knew say adena no ye na e 419 I have no problem ene ukono bi ye waza e wankasa wasem watene ne ho so asan be ye osofo ba ote Ghana no the only thing na agrada ya na so setting nipa app unya obi a no do about social media. And you could foresee say na agrada e ko Sammy Gyamfi wo so kwako pesca no it was intentional intina o twe camera tin anim say camera di machi ne Sammy Gyamfi baby ana ye ntete no e benya akwa we twa the video. That is what na agrada was doing. Enti say ye di Sammy Gyamfi boni a waye because of agrada e chi say ye ka say ye yi Sammy Gyamfi dia enye yi enti mi yi Sammy Gyamfi di based on na agrada tabi NPPFo so won TV da yankwa wale MPP ono din asem no wo ka ono be ka kire Ghana for say yenyi Sammy Gyamfi di NPP pa by the way NPP party no matena say party na egu no de ha adwen ye we dey ntien sama sa MP no o kae
for the following action or immediate actions. One, the immediate sanctioning of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi as acting CEO of the Ghana Board of. Clearly, it is an affront on the code of conduct. It is against the Foreign Exchange Act. It is against the Currency Act of the country. And even though the Chief of Staff mentioned that ignorance of the law is not an excuse, Mr. Gyamfi is never ignorant of the law. He's a lawyer of repute and understand clearly the action and consequences of the action. So he ought to take responsibility for saying. Secondly, we are calling for a full-scale investigation into the source of the dollar bundle displayed in the viral video. Where did he get the dollar from? Ordinary Ghanaian cannot go to the bank and request, even if you have a dollar account. You must demonstrate transaction. You must demonstrate that you are traveling out of the country in order for them to even allow you access your own dollar. So we need a full-scale investigation into the source of the dollar bundle displayed in that viral video. 3, we expect an apology from the president to the people of Ghana for the insult this act represents to those suffering under this suffering economy. Let it not be said that this parliament was silent in the face of such craziness. It will not look.
Yenyi papa we kura asem to nchan. The minority being led by this Baomie Kurum MP ni say yentwe Sammy Gyamfi aso because Sammy Gyamfi akwache na agrada $800. Enti yama Sammy Gyamfi nkwache say wonya dollars ni fi he. NPP ni o. They have forgotten say very soon say CC that had over $1 million them pass it. Sometimes when you listen to this kind of people, I say one far ban and go say, "Oh yeah, kwala nanka o hwe Enti NPP ni no onu oni bibia ye on the dollar na under the leadership of John Mama eba from no ohun ye so be press conference say obo aban na baso Ghana nko na mehu say minority entime mo aban a oteso abaso say oh ade a wo ye de ye da bia na ye pe ohun asem bone na aka enti MP no NPP ni no eni ni nua na omote ho omote koto no say afenya markets aso omo so meka say Sammy Gyamfi koyi $800 ntini yenyi Sammy Gyamfi agidi and I yenhwe Sammy Gyamfi aso yet they were the same people no mo defend this is that pass over $1 million no e ne bra yi ase ensa no and on the city that pa e ko first kan no send ya MP wuti wa wo candidate city that pa minister no ono wa hu bank ni kunu ya architect to say o ma hu bank dan etu amena wo mankasa dan mu edi sika ni gum to the sense say omo made area sika na kwa na they didn't even know say sika no e bi ayera. Sometimes people moral no ariomo the moral test eto your group of people will be of mind they don't even need to speak against some people when they think or they foresee say they are doing something wrong. That is what they foresee. I'm not saying say there Sammy Gyamfi here that be me makasete Sammy Gyamfi. I know say what happens so no majority of us akasete Sammy Gyamfi by enka say yenkoyi Sammy Gyamfi because there is some moral test na to any NPPFo NS omo kasete. We need sound-minded Ghanaians to start to speak against it. So $800 enya, and you were the same people justifying over $1 million. Say it was okay because my many bonibia. As we speak, say seven and so a quarter yen can be here. Until we NPP near, don't be happy because say Sammy Gyamfi akoyebi. There be Sammy Gyamfi then a total different because I heard how people nipa ye criticize Sammy Gyamfi na NDC for na ye criticize Sammy Gyamfi say there be yen pese NDC be ko opposition for now. Enti wo NDC ni any single thing you do no ye na ye be criticize o. Ba say okraman empene na ma onka say ekura emfa nko ana say okra emfa nko. You be protected no so yeah criticize Sammy Gyamfi say Sammy ade we are na wanya dey because we didn't expect it from you. Don't forget or mind you Sammy Gyamfi obi a NDC for nyina ni da so say that chi bi no Sammy Gyamfi bitimi abaye president obetimi pe olu position enti the single error be tade Sammy Gyamfi no e say your wife ho ntem by yenka say NPPFo mo na mo befa nko because moral test no ahwemo you have no locus to even talk about it. When you were in government, one can say over 90 MPs, and so they call president don't say finance minister, policies and programs or odi minor bro. Must say okay. The first time in the history of Ghana, maybe who say finance minister be a called mind gaso, akobobosia, de mind dia akobobosia. Aba edisi kana be party, kenke party. A honor the first time I remember who say ye de nkana kono, near the champagne edi, ye bun kana kono, say we no champagne account. Let me who with that. It was under NPP. You saw nothing wrong with it. And then Mama Betan says Sammy Gyamfi I didn't see any day. Sammy Gyamfi I didn't see any day. Come on to because you people do not even qualify. Says answer me crying ye can't more become because yes ye can because you bra NDC brain in opposition. I bet you mind where you see ho and now I know because $1 and Martin say 13 point something. I drop it from 17, 18 no air form. Enti ye pese ye pe obi obekora man na man ye pese ye protect man no that Ghana na ye nyina ye wo Ghana ye dia ye man na Ghana o masa ye ntrasema enti se ka se ye boss Sammy Gyamfi e twa na chika kra mesramo ye nka se ade Sammy Gyamfi ye no e so ba de mpam no da bi ye chen se Sammy we a young person you have future. And to look onto the future. Now you're more hoban, you're born and hoban kakra. As I met her who's a my born and now I have to accept it because oh Bob and hoban. Miss me who's a way be. I also have to say it because my born hoban. It doesn't mean say yes, say oh Debbie. That is not what we went to do. Until oh Papa we are oh Alewale oh not Baumia. Madam for more NPP before they come more can't cry. You people should shut up. You people to even shut up because I'm on Kasa. Yem pesa mo be bowa pehe kwara e was Sammy Gyamfi asem ye hia sam be kan bi because we don't need you people here. Who is going to need you again now? We need to rule the nation for about 40 years. Say the bear, you bet my shame and TM Pese. As will be a washer at a defeater, no could I or cosa a benquino. Utunu for seminia at a fufui, any a benquino could be as so much a be shown to careful. That is exactly the same thing we were doing with Sammy Gyamfi. Yes, say, ye cast Sammy and ye. That be, Master. We NPP near people bitter. What dear Monto Boise, you boom any we are, you people will come later on. Yasha, we enough in the Ghana for us, okay. Yem say, Bia, you see, you're quite a gun and you too much. Yem say, Benyan Kuphobia, Abia Romosian say, Bika in opposition. Yem has a moment saying, and a quamo came with Tibia 4 years beside Mosamonia. We kick you out. That is what we're going to do. Until some major video, Munya and my, or yeah, Corano, and Gaza, yes, no. That be a crasa major video. That is why, yeah, boy, you tears a major figure. And this Sammy, yes, I am Pawasam, you are a very nice guy. You're too far. I got that Nini Pies or the Honkobono. I got that or setting up. I dear mammy, what to Ganwa, or Yan or Nini Papa. Ti say ni pass and fan down for cry say say wo do ho cry ko ben cry say obisa question cry e say odwane because ba ma me panyi ti say agrada oni ni kunu da ho etimi jan ni kunu ko ware na kwala ade say nipa no nipa boni ni onye nipa papa o fan down for enye obi hu say oni ni gina ko kasa enye because how can we be say a haram person and on numbers and do she agrada bi adwane. Pacho 1 hour with the Munufi, the WhatsApp line, the Gyimii always screen. So we're going to do the show like that. If at the point in time you feel like also calling in, we'll be me about na fide. Me no actually uncommon from number no a plus 35846537269. That is the WhatsApp line. We're going to take it like that. You bet me at any point in time, if you feel like contributing anything towards the programmer, the Pacho offer a meeting me accept a call anytime on WhatsApp. But let me just stress on that point on WhatsApp. Yes, style. So what I say. All right, so let's move on. Moving forward, Yebeka Yura Ufuriata Hwasem, former finance minister. The Pachomokai say special prosecutor declare Papai wanted. Special prosecutor declare wanted. Pacho, you share this particular video. Abra special prosecutor, declare Euro for that wanted. Then after that, in Sembi by Chile, into a day, I was saying, because baby says, former finance minister, Waba, and now my, and answer a question him. Because in cry at and say, almost also a quaba, Pacho, into special prosecutor.
Contractual arrangements between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of the enhancement of revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and minerals and metals resources value chain. 2. Termination of a distribution, loss reduction, and associated network improvement project contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited and Beijing Xiaochen Technology BXC. 3. Procurement of contractors and materials and activities and payments in respect of the National Cathedral project. 4. Activities and payments in respect of a contract awarded by the Ministry of Health, initially commenced by the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives to Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for purchases and after-sales service and maintenance of 307 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 305 CDI ambulances for the National Ambulance Service. And 5. Payments out of and utilization of the tax refund account of Ghana Revenue Authority. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the fugitive's name is Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta. Mr. Oforiatta is 66 years old. He was the Minister of Finance of the Republic between 2017 and 2024. Mr. Oforiatta left the jurisdiction on or around 2 January 2025. On 24 January 2025, the OSP communicated to Mr. Oforiatta that the OSP considered him a suspect in respect of 4 of the cases described above. Mr. Oforiatta was directed to attend in person the OSP on Monday, 10 February 2025 at 10 GMT for interview. By communication dated 31 January 2025, Mr. Oforiatta instructed his lawyers to inform the OSP that he was out of the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds, and that the firm will notify the OSP of his arrival in the country in aid of rescheduling his personal attendance at the OSP. Further, the firm offered its willingness to provide the OSP with any information the OSP may require to aid in the investigation until his arrival in the country. Then on 5 February 2025, the OSP responded to Mr. Oforiatta, copied to his lawyers, that the OSP did not need or require notification from his lawyers of his arrival in the jurisdiction. The OSP acknowledged Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers' gracious offer to provide the OSP with information in aid of the investigation. However, and this is important, the OSP insisted that Mr. Oforiatta's personal attendance at the OSP was required. After all, the lawyers are not under investigation. I don't need lawyers to answer questions on your behalf when you are being investigated. The OSP declined Mr. Oforiatta's request to be away from the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds on his say-so. Consequently, the OSP directed Mr. Oforiatta to indicate by close of business on Monday, 10 February 2025, a reasonable date of his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. The OSP warned Mr. Oforiatta that if he failed so to do, the OSP would take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP at our own choosing. Subsequently, by a communication dated 10 February 2025, that is just Monday, Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers transmitted to the OSP a generic letter procured by Mr. Oforiatta purporting to be from a doctor in a foreign jurisdiction, stating that Mr. Oforiatta had been seen and evaluated, and that he was undergoing further testing and management and possible surgical intervention at an indicated future time. And further, that his medical condition necessitates that he will stay and follow up on his appointments. On account of this purported medical letter, Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers prayed that the attendance in person of Mr. Oforiatta at the OSP should be fixed, taking into account the medical report from his doctors. And at 4:16 p.m. the very next day, it is yesterday, Tuesday, 11 February 2025, before we could respond to the letter that came on Monday, the OSP received another letter from Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers. This time, it was an inquiry. Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers wanted to know, and they stated that they were informed by the household of Mr. Oforiatta that in the morning of Tuesday, 11 February 2025, that is yesterday, 12 men, comprising 1 police officer, 4 military men, and 7 other men in plain clothing, visited Mr. Oforiatta's house, and that by threat of force, they were able to enter Mr. Oforiatta's house, and they undertook an exercise purporting to be a search of every room, office, gym, and other spaces in the house. Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers then inquired if the OSP could confirm that the actions of the 12 men were the instance of the OSP, so as to enable them to decide if a complaint to the police would be unnecessary. Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers then prayed for a prompt response from the OSP to prevent imposter action. We are now responding promptly, and we have chosen the course of answering Mr. Oforiatta's inquiry publicly at this briefing, considering the circumstances surrounding the purported raid at Mr. Oforiatta's house, media reportage of the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that some media houses have stated emphatically that the OSP was behind the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that the purported raid is being made to appear as if it was some untoward action by the OSP stemming from some contrived vendetta held by the OSP against Mr. Oforiatta. So, here we go. And this is our response to Mr. Oforiatta directly, but through you, the media. Mr. Oforiatta, the OSP did not raid your house on Tuesday, 11 February 2025, or on any other day. Mr. Oforiatta, the OSP did not cause any persons, however uniformed or bedecked, to raid your house on Tuesday, 11 February 2025, or on any other day. Mr. Oforiatta, that could not have been the OSP, and that is not our style. If the OSP enters your premises, you will not be in doubt as to whether it was the OSP that had come there, and your lawyers will not have cause to do an inquiry ascertaining whether it was the OSP. We have our unique methods of conducting searches, and we have uniquely designed insignia identifying ourselves, and not just by a statement that we are from the OSP. This is one such main insignia. A person cannot just show up and say they are from the OSP. It's cheap, anyone can say that. But when the OSP enters your premises, you will definitely know by our insignia, our methods, and the way we identify ourselves that this is the OSP. Our intelligence points us to state that the purported raid on Mr. Oforiatta's residence was staged, or at best, an imposter action in an attempt to court disfavor for the OSP and to derail the investigation. You know us very well. The OSP is never deterred by such occurrences, and the investigations will continue as by law prescribed. These occurrences and the OSP's intelligence, which will not be revealed at this time for fear of compromising the investigation, are very instructive as not to put premium on Mr. Oforiatta's alleged imminent peril should he travel back to the jurisdiction. In any case, the purported medical letter transmitted through his lawyers to the OSP did not state so or demonstrate so. The OSP is unconvinced that the purported medical letter transmitted by Mr. Oforiatta through his lawyers to the OSP represents a medical report.
All right, in the OSP say, Otro Krata, and the Koma Ken Oforiatta, Ira Ken Oforiatta's Uhiano. And then Mr. Ken Oforiatta, through his lawyers, Otro Krata the Ben say, Oyare or that hospital be our man on it. Now, according to OSP, that letter na at the Bayano, or no, on Gyimii as a Yazan Krata. And in any case, say, if you have been wanted on a criminal issue and your lawyers, and you hear almost a million a one casa and a uba. In the OSPC or no, on Jisa Kratana, Ira Ken Oforiatta, and now the lawyer for so, actually the Bayano, was it on Gyimii. Now, Mr. say, a dear potina na era OSPC Ken Oforiatta aye. These are the 5 offenses according to the special prosecutor. Era Ken Oforiatta aye. Is on our screen. The first one, Gyimii and SML deals via OSPC Ken Oforiatta and Hobomu. 2. ECG and Beijing contract. ECG and Beijing contract being so if it's a era Ken Oforiatta and Hobomu. Number 3, Era National Cathedral and the National Cathedral. National Cathedral President Ronaldo Mayeta says, "Oh, you sue public funds, oh, you sue sika, and find your way." He say we over 5 million Ghana sika dollars. So convertible Ghana is coming to Minka. Aqua kudim. One constituency, one ambulance initiative, and also a serial Ken Oforiatta and Hobomu. And lastly, GRA tax refund account on one same bin so. In him say account na kudi Panama who say can they want him. In him. And these are some of the things OSP say, and unti and afraid you reckon for that as Omra Ken Oforiatta also say or the hospital. Kitty Chata say, Master, just order the arrest of Ken Oforiatta. How can someone like him, who has caused so much hardship and deny poor Ghanaians basic necessities for 8 years, still work free? These are the kind of questions I pay Bisa and and here and then Bisa say Ken Oforiatta Baba and now my and also war him. Because as Ghanaians, we need to know Nti and the updates be I want to give you. Then based on your own things, make your own conclusions. I say for Ken Ofurata say me echo ya edru BBC nyina because Ken Ofurata na Ghana bia nim say papa yi nyema wo ye no ase enhye da mfa kwan mu sa. Enso ka den na ado dan kwakufu ado se da bi OSP de say Ken Ofurata ohia no. Enti obia nim ade potia na papa yi eye because nsam no na eye adoso na hododo. Eye adoso a obia enti ase. Enti I'm never series of events buy na yenyine mobom we have made the update be ma because OSP recently what the update we buy it seems say update na abai so quiet say many Ghanaians do not even know say update be buy. Until I think say I have to take my time and then take you through those updates no na fe the yenyine yehu say updates be poten na aba na ye mobom emfiri ho because we anya ne sa nipa dodo na adwen enche da nkoso if my sound and everything is okay Kitty chatter and and just photos you can send me message say bia my sound is too loud or it's too low or whatever. I think say a bit me abwa mekakra something like that. Until on our screen OSP says since January 2025 the OSP has been seeking to compel Mr. Ofurata to appear before the investigators for questioning following events outlined in OSP's efforts and Mr. Ofurata's responses. 24th January 2025 the OSP formally notified Mr. Ofurata he was a suspect in 5 cases and directed him to appear in person on 10th of February 2025. The OSP say January 2025 here on the 24th of January and Okache Mr. Ofurata say he is a suspect in a case. But Ofurata yana again say omfi ubia or say omfi ta. And these are some of the things that na OSP say or expertise say Kobenyo Ofurata ama Mr. Ofurata Chiti me da say if the sound is very okay me da say pa why are there. And the press release in say I think that this might be latest ones, so let me take my time and then address it perfectly. But you wow me no tini because Mr. Ofurata is seven Ghana for you hear Mr. Ofurata pa wa Ghana. Now you who say or answer questions bia, but it seems to say most of the publications in OSP debate and saying I don't know why the media seem not to be interested in it. Mean Jiska or whatever, but that is how it is. Ghana no be activity. A plus am I yet and say issue bar nipa omodo o man no kodim kese no yetimi frɛ o kokoam na ya bɔ ahye na afidi waka wa no atom A plus ne kan mo kware ne ti nti Ghana no politicians mo kware ne ti media mo kware ne ti citizens e wo Ghana no mo kware ne ti ministers ni bi mo kware ne ti nti aman nsɛm ni bebre ba kwa na unhu how to address it nti and I've taken my time to take you through Mr. Ofurata na me do about the latest update at OSP at the buy nti me kan ya chero. On the 12th of February 2025 the special prosecutor declared Kenneth Nana Ofurata a former Minister of Finance, a wanted person, and a fugitive from justice on the grounds that he had failed to indicate a reasonable time of his return to the jurisdiction. So, Jazz, you think my sound is not coming on its left? Jazz, I don't actually understand what you mean, but maybe after the program, just I'll give you a call, then we know what you talk about. I think say you mean say who you see 2 speakers, but the sound is coming from one end, but it's not coming from the other end. I think I can take my time to address that as well. Now after the mini jazz, so actually I'm coming album. See jazz photos made as a pan, so why are they say what me updating me on the updates on my sound? Sometimes you know this is how I think that we have to go about it. Wow, so you can also help me, and then we all address the issues from that angle. And see, me da say jazz photos, jazz. The chima the gumba lie, bibia bokode. Jazz photos, what the chima the gumba lie. All right, into jazz photos. If you think so for now, the sound I've changed my sound. So if you think say everything is okay, ubiti me up me for now. Jazz me da say. And let me continue to read what the OSP actually said. And the OSP said he failed to return to the jurisdiction, although he had been informed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor that he was a suspect in various suspected corruption related offenses or cases, and he has been directed to physically attend the OSP in Accra on a specified date at a specified time for interviewing. On 18th of February 2025, Mr. Ofori-Atta transmitted a communication through his lawyers to the OSP by which he stated a definite date for his voluntary return to the jurisdiction. This marks a major shift from Mr. Ofori-Atta's previous indications of remaining outside the jurisdictions indefinitely. So OSP say Mr. Ofori-Atta through his lawyers actually at the brand say wamani date bi say date we be so no obeba ono ankasa beba Ghana. Until previously now waka say ontimi Ghana at any point in time no. What OSP is trying to say is Mr. Ofori-Atta asesana no say dey ono ankasa ebeba Ghana. That's it. On 18th of February 2025, the OSP acceded to Mr. Ofori-Atta's request as it deemed his stated dates and voluntary return to the jurisdictions reasonably in the circumstances. On 18 February 2025, the special prosecutor rescheduled the date of Mr. Ofori-Atta's attendance at the OSP, taking into account Mr. Ofori-Atta's stated date of voluntary return to the jurisdiction. The OSP say, "Wajatum, ode also baba ati asiye yetwen bra." So if you think say you can also follow, good. Just photos, me that's it. Consequently, Mr. Ofori-Atta has been removed from the OSP's list of wanted persons, and the OSP ceases to consider Mr. Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice pending his voluntary return to the jurisdictions era his stated date. If Mr. Ofori-Atta fails to voluntarily return to the jurisdictions on the OSP's list, which means he will be re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons, and the OSP shall then consider him a fugitive from justice, and the OSP shall take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdictions and attendance at the OSP at our own choosing. So OSP say, Mr. Ofori-Atta na beka chen say, Mr. OSP, member Ghana this date, me am the data bro. And this is at that point no son. That's a papa na mba obesan de din yakọ ka wanted list no ho. Na watwe na de na aba Ghana. Until the OSP is committed to its mandate of ensuring accountability guided by due process and fairness. Until OSP say ono de ade a oye no na come mu fine on ka say or penipa bia punish no. That is the same reason why OSP there na bien say why na actually bring me say obeba on this particular date. Until ye Ghana fund there na ye nim say OSP aka actually say papa no say obeba in May. Until the latest update OSP are publishing. Let's try to think say Mr. Ofori-Atta ebeba in May, and I say on my in May. If I shall follow the case very well. I've taken my time. I did some research, and I'm presenting to you this latest update. This is the latest update OSP assigned by on Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, NPPFo. Yasemo.
Gyimii party jaomo. Onim share.
What's your NPP again?
Gyimii party.
Gyimii party ni dia no nya den dodo.
Oh. Me Gina President Kufuor anim kwa sha na be kala.
Na Gyimii party na wo Bulgaria won so ya NPP ni no.
Oh, na Sammy resume Gyimii.
All right, enti yenko anim. Yasemo. Enti Ghana fo nyina bisa se na Ewura Ken Ofori-Atta o he. Ken Ofori-Atta sa wa yera wo se wa wu se be wu de yemfa susu nipa. Enti just photos men kan sa anti yemfa se bia otiase. And then what is the reason why as a on person obeba OSP ho? Enti the latest update OSP publish e wo on one kasa na website so and it say it's on our screen. Case updates. Kenneth Nana Yaw Ofori-Atta. This is the case update. ti me de bro to bo le yina yen kan iwia Kevin Teller ne kan ye dwudwam iwia ibedwudwam nti wa wonti ase no ye kan ne dwudwam ye kan ne dwudwam something like that. That is how we're going to do it. Nti montomobo because you reckon for that ankasa ne catch the OSP say obeba Ghana na on na be di ho komo ba yen ko say May na the man no aso because May no money away nti you reckon for that waba ana my. The Office of the Special Prosecutor acknowledges a lawsuit filed by Kenneth Nanaya Ufurata contesting the OSP prior declaration that he was a wanted person and a fugitive from justice.
Gyimii for party job.
Yeah. And the OSP say, "Odo na o twe Ken Ufurata no, Ken Ufurata na dan ne ho makwa kwasi uni say odini dia kwaka wanted list ho." American story bi nchiro me ya yenyi no na me na efia itim no me na ba afie nti na ye wo man bi ho a we carpenter na efe ne Willie P nti na Willie P rented dan e wo yankasa efie. Let me just do it this way na afi de ye monko mani ye na Willie P da ne dem na adwo na o te say ye titachiman wa onim tachiman Hausa line Zongo. That is where I grew up. Ti me ye Zongo ni pa Willie P said them not say yeah pare kromfuo. Willie P and said them no 2 PS or pe kromfuo ya chi ni bi. Akobu no so ko na Willie P pare gu kromfuo ya chi. Anajo be 2 AM. Kiki na sa na ni pare kromfuo ni na asa na ka Willie P kwa no di kromfuo ya chi. Kromfuo no ko ya oduru de gomba la ball bi ho sa. Hu se Willie P kwa di na chi no. E no mom 10 ye na o pare Willie P kromfuo. Kromfuo na say Willie P no pam kromfuo na say 10 ho da we na kromfuo. Na beatings dey because Willie P. Chima Hausa line the gomba le nya be bu style bi bi. Bu Willie P say by the time Willie P tie hu say da bi say na onum na pare kromfuo na ko na abu Willie P awie. Nti do bi na Ken Ufurata ye no. OSP na o twe no. Ken Ufurata na dan no e twe OSP say oh we dey na o bi di ko ka want list mo.
Gyimii for party job.
Hey, NPPFo.
Gyimii for party job.
Ken Ufurata ye krokro de John. So we be have me say me how. And say Mr. Ufurata formally requested the OAP to remove his name from the OSP's list of wanted persons with the assurance to the OSP that he will make himself available for questioning on a defined date. The OSP, in good faith and on the basis of Mr. Ufurata's assurance, granted his request and removed his name from the OSP's list of wanted persons, pending his personal attendance at the OSP on date defined on the defined date. The OSP say, "You reckon Ufurata actually the breme say, Australia, you need to fi water list so no on one kasa beba." Nti OSP agini di ye. Eyi di no if you wanted list no so yento so yedwudwam ye kan ya na yedwudwam. Mr. Ufurata, this is the latest update on OSP's website but I say nipa bebre as being cause. Mr. Ufurata is mandatorily requested to appear in person before the OSP on 2nd June 2025. If Mr. Ufurata fails to attend the OSP on the scheduled date, he shall be re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons and the OSP shall consider him a fugitive from the jurisdiction, whereupon the OSP will cause the issuance of an Interpol red notice in his regard and also cause the immediate of extradition pending in any jurisdiction in which he may be found. In the OSP say, Mr. Ufurata, you sign BBS Obama my office on the 2nd of June. Maybe I'm found so that seminal call to with a seminal call here. Say on the 2nd of June, so now my but be also be a metro. My report on my Interpol, it will be red list or red notice him. Now could be our session we are Sibiano, you bet you to Ghana. And the other wheelchair so, what the wheelchair more, what that stretcher so, said Dr. Ayo, we are pie with young cried over back. Anyway, sometimes no odwen ho a ontimi nhyɛ da entiase ba nsɛm ni bi wɔ ha that is how I think say yaye no because yeye nneɛma ni bi asa agoro ne yedi o man agoro ne yedi o man say obohu say na nneɛma ni bi wɔ ha na ɛyɛ afa yankasa yase na afi de ɛyɛ asa nneɛma because the OSP who here finance minister what the not to want list but obi ade na wan kofa nama ama onu mo ma 10 ne ho asan be fa wo mom de wakogina court afei na obe kan kire Ghana for say o de ne be ba Ghana anyway ye hwe kwan ya for say de be ba bia e de say ye Ghana for ye to hwe wa na obe kan kire onya ye na e kan me am te me nka bi OSP no wo na kan kire Ghana for say you reckon for ata abokoro no we Ghana sika ba o hwe na wunhu no odwane o so yare akire ono ankasa atwero letter abro say onyare si de ne ho to no obeba na say time no so na so onu mom san be 10 ne ho de wakogina court de a it means say onye ready so beba in the 2nd of June no de and then on the 12th of May, 2nd of June, at the no ya OSP. Until we are Ghana on the 2nd of June, Chamusha can for that tower Afghanistan, yes, Chenebra. Who share the USA, Chenebra. We share no Finland, Chenebra. But we are busy and be who share the war, Somaliland, the cry, Chenebra. That is the message from OSP. Says, oh, yeah, I just or back, don't have a kitchen commodity. Send a Canada Japan Kayano.
Another Gyimii, NPPFo, Mama Gyimii, what Gyimii Papa will stay in opposition forever.
Yeah, that's it, Kendo for that. What bomb NPP are co-oppositions where Canada Japan say can't say you people will stay in opposition forever because Corona na mabon there and yada ketwa. All right, until we for 1 hour with the Munufi and Medi any William Munufi among Konami, we did say Ubi Ahoy. Until our case was for Iraq and Uforata, we seem to seek say Oba and as Oma Kinuforata Abadurihe, ye Pebabi or Abadu, now Fide, Yena, a jet in common album. And see me that's and then the best you have say, oh, question beer, you can also come back and then we all do the discussions together. So, question beer, anywhere I think say, Ochina, I'll take my time and then we go through maybe by Ochina near solutions to and as answers will be a Iraq and Uforata, Akoshe, now Fide Yahweh. So, Baba Gano. Say Mo, say then OSP, Alpha whatever they Ghana for, we will need to get the answers. It is say, oh, of course, if you also be some at any point in time, I will be to me the WhatsApp line where you can send me WhatsApp. Time be some about online, be as you think like calling on the show, and also I'll take my time to pick your calls. Nay, you know, I can common album. Be any William Munufi among Kona. This channel, 1 hour with Munufi. Send me you knew be at we were just seeking answers. Ye answers keke in near Timbia. Christopher, when that's a power, why they say also take you time now, what me away this particular channel. That's in near time, we just ask questions. Into the question you beside and say, you reckon for that or him. We NPP near don't come and insult us because we are just asking legitimate questions. So our question now, OSP, Ebisano, and no be na yenso, Ebisa, Edamasi.
Don't talk as if say Gyamii people no here for party bia sebi obi ani twiwoma unkwa na contribute na unkwa na udu sika abo party no fa unkwasi asem free okọ anya unkwa na abo party no ana unkwa de da bia oba bibia na ntini pa we amudi na chi wo amudi na chi ma Gyimii ana papa we oma 1 cedi a obi abeti oma 5 cedi a obi abeti oma 10 cedi a obi abeti ti kwase we na mo bezo be president o Ghana aro